Did you know that by improving your emotional intelligence, you can actually improve your personal brand? They are completely related, and there are ways that you can improve your personal brand by just being aware of what emotional intelligence is and how to improve that. So we're going to talk about that today. My name is Kelly. I was a nurse to CEO, and I'm here to give you tips and tricks to get the life and career of your dreams. So first of all, what is emotional intelligence? We need to really understand that before we can decide how are we going to improve it to improve our personal brand. Emotional intelligence refers to your ability to be able to monitor your own emotions and feelings and be perceptive of others' emotions and feelings. It means that you have the ability to not, frankly, make emotional decisions. You can stay objective, you can stay calm, you're a better problem solver, you're a better communicator, and you actually become more relatable when you have the ability to control your emotions as things occur. And really, this is a key factor in success for most successful people, that ability to be able to be objective and stay emotionally aware of how they're perceived. So understanding emotions and how it impacts decision making. What is the why behind that? When you're able to not react in an emotional way, you're actually able to think more clearly. So therefore, you become a better problem solver. You become more of an effective communicator. You become a better negotiator. When you're able to then understand how people are perceiving you and how you react, you're able to calmly then work through problems and become that problem solver. When you also are aware of your emotional responses, you actually handle stress and conflict resolution better because you've already thought about what are the emotional roadblocks or what are triggers maybe that occur that can actually trigger an emotional response. One of the ways that you can help with that is you can identify what are those triggers. How do I react when certain things occur? How do I react when stress occurs? By monitoring that and self-reflecting on that, you have the ability then when those triggers occur to calmly not react in an emotional way. Practicing that behavior actually will help you in the future develop that higher emotional intelligence moving forward, which will help you build more of a successful career and more successful life as you're able to work with not only on your personal life, but also on your professional life. Studies have shown that people with high emotional intelligence just frankly are better at their job performance. It has a higher job satisfaction because you're not constantly stressed and emotionally reacting everything. You actually have stronger relationships with your coworkers because maybe when your coworker maybe isn't handling this stressful situation as well, you're calmly able to talk to that person in a way that that person feels that there's trust and credibility in you. It actually makes you a better leader because you're the one that people are going to want to go to in those high complex situations. Most people view people with a higher emotional intelligence as just strong leaders, strong people that they want to go to and lead the organization or the department or the project. And that's what you want to do for success. So, how does this impact your personal brand? Well, personal brand is the process of establishing the image you want to give or the perception you want to give in others as your personal brand. You're actually working and giving others a perception of what are your skills, what are your qualities, what are your experiences, how do you interact, how do you communicate? Well, if you're in charge of your emotional intelligence or you're aware of and working on a higher emotional intelligence, the perception you're giving to others or the personal brand you're giving to others as the person who is leading, as the person who is calm, as the person who is an effective communicator, as the person who really can strategize and strategically discuss maybe emotional or high triggering topics. That becomes your personal brand. And again, the studies have shown that people perceive people as a high emotional intelligence that don't react emotionally as better leaders, as more successful, as the people they want to follow and emulate. that can become your personal brand. Reputation management, then, on the other hand, is the practice of maintaining that positive image, of maintaining and actually, more importantly, doing deliberate actions or deliberate things that help maintain that positive image for your personal brand, for your reputation. But that doesn't happen by doing it sometimes, right? It really happens by being consistent. You need to be consistently aligned with what are your values? What are you trying to portray? How are you trying to interact with others? What is the perception you want, or the personal brand or the reputation you want in others? So in order to really have people perceive you in that way for your image, for your personal brand, you have to act deliberately and consistently. This means it means the weekends. It means your personal time. It means social media and how you interact online. You can't act one way in maybe your professional life, and then on your personal life, on social media or in interactions with others, act differently, because that will alter your personal brand, the image you're trying to create. So it's extremely important that you think about, what are my strengths, skills, qualities, personal brand, and reputation that I'm putting out there consistently? And does it align with what I want it to be, and how actually you can change that with practice and with understanding? The first step is understanding what emotional intelligence is. And then the next step is, how do I identify those things that maybe create an image that I don't want to an image that I do want? So not only will having a high emotional intelligence then work with your personal brand, but then it also builds stronger relationships. And individuals that have a high emotional intelligence can connect with people more. They're seen as trustworthy, they're seen as credible, they're seen as a person who they can have a rapport with. Again, you want to be able to effectively communicate, and you can't do that if you're kind of going off on tangents, or maybe going off with venting. That is difficult to maintain a positive, high emotional intelligence if you're doing things like that. That doesn't mean you need to be perfect. So don't misunderstand me. There may be mistakes that you made. I have made mistakes where I needed to vent. However, if you're majority of the time and consistently aligned with the values, and you understand that every time you interact, pieces to the puzzle of your personal brand get added, and you really think about that and you work through that, it will help you maintain that positive image. So things you can do to improve your emotional intelligence and improve your personal brand and reputation is, number one, practice self-awareness. When you do find yourself emotionally getting triggered to something, stop and think about that after effect and say, okay, how did I interact here? How could I have improved it? What am I going to do the next time this trigger occurs? Practicing self-awareness will build on itself so you have a higher emotional intelligence. Work on empathy if you find that to be a problem, meaning work on, are you perceiving the feelings in others? Are you taking that into account when you are interacting with others? Working through that and understanding the opinions of others also helps with your emotional intelligence and your personal brand. Seek feedback. Learn from experience. Learn from others that have a high emotional intelligence and don't get triggered as often. And then seek feedback with people that you trust and you know, and how do they perceive you? How do they perceive you online, in your social network interactions, in your personal in-person reactions? Seek feedback on that so you then can take that information and grow from that. Surround yourself with positive people. Again, we've heard this saying before, right? You are the average of the 5 people you surround yourself with the most, because we either bring each other up or we bring each other down. So be aware of who you're surrounding yourself with so that they can also help you elevate your emotional intelligence and elevate your personal brand and reputation. So overall, emotional intelligence is a critical factor in your personal brand and your reputation. So what are you going to do today? Comment below one way that you feel that impacts emotional intelligence and personal brand, so we can all learn from each other. If you've liked this video, please give me a like and subscribe. And hopefully you can watch this next video that'll come online to get more of the career and life of your dreams. Thanks, and we'll talk soon.